The following program was paid for by Southern American Media. Fox 30 WGBC invites you to the talk of all the towns in East Mississippi and West Alabama. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace.
And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, along with Debbie as she fills in for Candace this week.
Good morning.
Welcome back.
It's nice to be back.
I was worried you wouldn't come back, that I might have upset you yesterday or something.
No, actually, I had a really good time. I have to say I was a little, I had not done this in so long. And when we did it, it was, as they always said, you have a voice, you have the looks for radio. And whenever we had to do commercials or anything like that.
It was a fight.
It was a fight. I hated doing it, even when I was younger. But I enjoy it. As long as I don't have to look at myself, I'm good.
You and I and Dylan, we're going to have him this morning. We're talking a moment ago. This was, I don't know how many umpteen dozen years ago, the homeless guy that somebody interviewed that had the golden voice.
Oh, he had that. Dylan can probably do it better because Dylan has a great voice.
I don't know about any of that.
Yeah, you do. You have a great voice.
No, I'm looking him up right now because I swear I heard that he's gone on to do something else. So if y'all give me a second.
Yeah.
Get that microphone closer.
I mean, but the way the story...
Sure thing.
Yeah. We don't want to get reprimanded.
You got to pull it up where we hear you.
Scotty Ray's got all of his ducks.
I forget that you got this nice setup where I don't have to contort my
I have
my body
I have to give you kudos. You and Dylan, or everybody that worked on your studio. This is better than any studio we ever worked in.
It's good. And I've done nothing. Dylan has developed all this, and the new one that we're going to be moving to is, I think, going to be a little notch better than this.
I mean, this is amazing what you've set up over here. I mean, from the ground up.
Well, I appreciate
I can remember
that.
when Scotty Ray called me and said, I'm thinking about doing a Facebook weather show. And I thought, well, it would be great. Because that's all I ever hear. Ever since we left radio, I sure miss you guys at weather. Now, I wasn't the weather person. I was just there for support.
But let me tell you something. That support is everything when you're in the middle of it, because you kept up with all the wrecks. You kept up with what was going on. And that's a part of it, and it makes it better.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, going way back to Katrina, when we do... That was, what did we do, like 48 hours of solid talking, and to the point where... I think that's why my voice is this deep to this day, is because we never got a break. We didn't play music.
No.
We didn't cut the music. It was so serious. And we just interviewed and took calls, and we were getting calls all the way from the coast, people trying to find their family members. And that right there, no one person could have done that, because we were the only tower up, I think, all the way to the coast.
Yeah, we were all you could hear.
Yeah.
Every TV station. I've never even witnessed anything quite like we had during that time.
We were it, and everybody was relying on us all the way down. And that was tough, talking that much. And we would just have to play off of each other and go, who's got anything left? Do you have anything left?
Where is Mike from EMEPA?
He was Mike. We always loved to get Mike on there, because you knew if you were interviewing Mike, you could ask him one question and let him go. You could take a little siesta during it. Not that he wasn't interesting. It was just that was our only break.
Yeah.
He was a great talker, and he was very interesting, and he could just go for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So those were the days, though.
They were.
I'm glad we haven't had a storm quite like that since.
Yeah. Thank heavens that that's not happened again.
Yeah.
Well, it is already Tuesday morning. As we get this day going, we're going to talk to Dylan a little bit here. Did you find anything on the guy yet?
Yeah. His name was Ted Williams.
Yes.
And the whole thing happened in about 2011. You can go up on his Wikipedia page, and it's like in February 2011, he was on this show and that show, and he did a commercial for mac and cheese at some point.
And he was homeless.
Oh yeah. I mean, I remember that YouTube video. He was ragged looking. But it's crazy because like the first thing that you see on there now is that he since then started a nonprofit to help other people who are homeless. And the very last entry that I saw was that he wanted to run for governor of Ohio.
Wow.
This year, but I think he.
Are you
I think he's-
serious?
Yeah. He's going in the blue corner.
You never
too.
know.
And what we're talking about, if you're just tuning in, was back in 2011, we ran across this guy that was homeless, and they just happened to interview for something, and his voice just stuck out. And so he's done well for himself.
But I'll tell you this: if you've ever, I've been to California several times, and like along the beach, and there's a lot of homeless people along through there because why wouldn't you? If you're going to be homeless, let's go to California and live in the best place ever, right along the Pacific. And I've sat and actually talked to some of the homeless people, and they have some very great stories. Some of them are just, they choose that life. It's, I sit back and I think, no pressure.
Debbie, I have to bring this up. We had someone write in. They wanted to know if you meant to wear that shirt with those glasses.
Is that Jan Bushman? Jan, leave me alone. Jan is always my worst critic. Actually, Jan, it's funny you should say that because I put on my glasses because I have several pairs. They're prescription glasses, and which Scotty Ray refuses to do, even though he needs them.
Wait a minute.
Yours aren't prescription.
No, they're not. These are the $5 a pair or
Yeah.
something like that.
You really need to go and get you some prescription. Dylan knows it really works.
Oh, yeah.
But actually, when I got these, I thought they were clear, and they're not. It's got a little pink tint
At the top.
Yeah, and I don't know if it goes across as pink on the in the video, and then my shirt's red. And I thought, oh, that is kind of clashy, but you get what you get. You get what you pay for here, Scotty Ray. This is what
We also got a note there from June Farmer that said her husband
Hey,
got
June.
stoned yesterday,
Oh no!
and the toothpaste worked.
I love June. June was, and I don't know if June's still there, but at Central United Methodist, she was one of my kids' teachers.
Wow.
Back when they were doing the Mother's Day Out program or whatever they called it over there. What else are they saying?
Let's see here.
You just need to block Jan right now because she's going to have me
She's gonna get
very self-conscious.
Sheila Bounds joins us from the great state of Nebraska. Thank you for joining us today.
Wow, never been there.
Yeah. Let's see here. What was that?
What
That LaWanda
else?
mentioned that if I didn't say it, Walter Grantham didn't believe it. Love Walter to death. He was a great guy. Of course, he was one of our game wardens that we had for years.
If Scotty Ray didn't put it on the air, you didn't believe it?
That's what she said. Lots going on today. We'll go over what has happened overnight in the early morning hours around us. And this is becoming, it's hard to track. And I always ask for anything that you run up on, send us an inbox. If you see something, if you hear of a robbery, send it to us, because a lot of times that's the only way that we know to ask the police to investigate something. It's not like they go, hey, we just had a bunch of people steal some stuff.
Exactly.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to let other folks know so you can kind of, because you do a great job of calling and trying to find out and
Yeah.
getting the details or sending me in the area to
Take pictures
to
and
try
get
to find
the
out
rest
what's
of
going
the
on.
story.
Yeah.
Like, and here was one that I got last night, and this ended up being not true. And this is why I say if we post it, we really investigated it. But I got a note that something happened in Collinsville last night, that someone had hit their head, they didn't know who they were, and that they were looking for his wife. Well, after I got investigating, that was not the case. Nothing about it was right.
Scotty Ray called me and said, "What do you think about this?" And I said, "Well, something's not right with this because I don't doubt that it didn't happen.
Something went on.
But there were only like 4 cars in the parking lot, and one of them was his. Why didn't you track down whose car it was
To locate who it was.
So what was the deal?
He had had like a seizure type thing, and his wife was with him the entire time. It was never a case of he didn't know
He was
who
trying
he
to act like his wife. He didn't know who it was.
It's like, who are you?
He's like, "Who are you?
Get away."
I don't know this lady. Take her away."
But it ended up being nothing. But, it was a tip, so we got on that. And that's just one of the things. And I say all that, we don't report it unless it's true. If you hear of a break-in, one of the hardest things to really track are the break-ins and cars being stolen. Like yesterday, and boy, I'm telling you, this happened so much in Meridian to where we call it, in old Scuba Town, they used to call it the suck-up truck.
I think everybody called it
the suck-up truck. If you don't make your payment, they come get it. And I cannot...
Here comes the suck-up truck.
I cannot tell you the amount of times of cars that were reported to me that end up being, well, somebody didn't make a payment. And that happened yesterday as the repo man tried to get it. He repoed a Mustang. It was bright orange. And the folks that did make the payment on it didn't appreciate that. So they commenced to chasing him down I-20 with the car that he repossessed.
Nowadays, because most cars have some kind of tracking device on it, and it's not as hard as it used to be for them to, like you can't hide your car like you used to. I knew people that would try to put their car somewhere else because they knew they didn't make that payment.
That reminds me of the Hank Jr. song, Pink Slip Blues, if you remember that, where he goes into where everybody's losing their job and he hides his truck in his neighbor's garage so they won't repossess it because he can't make payment. Can't do that no more.
No.
They all over it.
They really ruined a lot of things with all this technology.
I know. I mean, you can't.
I don't know, but like when I was younger, before I ever got married, I had a checking account. I actually still have all my checks from back there because it makes me laugh. I used to write checks for like 50 cents.
Oh.
But back then, if you didn't have that 50 cents in the bank, you could write the check. This is probably illegal. I'm probably going to get arrested. But you'd write the check knowing that you had like 3 days to get your money in the bank. Not now. They suck that money out of your checking account immediately.
I guess it goes into the scanner, and they immediately know whether or not you've got the money in that machine. It's just...
If you write checks, I write one check a month. Do you write checks?
Very few. There's some places that just won't take... like with my business, I hadn't got it set up to where I take credit cards. So my business, I get mostly checks sent to me, but... In payments,
in payments, do you write?
One or two that I still have to. It's either really, draft or you take your card and do all that.
I think my mom, she just never really quite grasped that everything's electronic now and technology.
Oh, my mother was bad about writing that $2 check with 50 people behind her, and she
And my mom was. Until she passed away, it was like, let me write you a check and you go cash that check. And,
yes. And you just feel more comfortable or safer with it, so to speak.
She just doesn't like that.
I think I have to deal with checks every 13 months, and I've just never dealt with them on a basis that's consistent enough to go, oh, yeah, that's where you put your name and that's where you...
I mean, for your age group.
Yeah.
And he was telling me last night if I needed to get with the technology to where... And I'm not set up with my bank through my phone or anything, but he was telling me I should take a picture of my check and it would automatically. I didn't know you
Give me a check. Write me a check and I'll show you how to do it. Write me a check for $2,000 and I'll show you exactly how to deposit it.
Yeah.
And then Dylan, I don't know, this was a few months back, we were having to order equipment for the studio, and we tried to order something and it wouldn't work. Mm-hmm. And I thought, man, it's wrong. And then I called the bank and they go, oh, yeah, you can't spend over $5,000 or it won't work. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I found out quick. We didn't get what we needed.
Yeah. That's the way I do all my checks and everything. If I get a check, I do
This is a hint that she wants a check.
Yeah. Or gas check or something.
Yeah, got to get a little something.
No, I don't even get free coffee. What's up with this? I told him I had a rider. That I needed some, like a bottle of water and a cup of coffee.
We're going to talk about riders in just a little bit. A lot of folks are not really familiar with what a rider is.
Yeah.
We'll go back in the day and tell you about a few of these things that we've dealt with. That's all up and coming.
Oh, yeah.
Scotty Ray and Debbie as we take you through this early Tuesday. If you're getting ready to purchase land, make sure you have it surveyed. Contact our friends at the Woodlands Group. Maybe you're selling land, dividing land up. Whatever the case is, the Woodlands Group can help you there. They handle residential and commercial clients. And again, they specialize in property line location, site plans, and a whole lot more. Maybe you have a construction project, and they have the latest equipment to make sure it's done right, including drones. Call Justin Palmer or Brandon Briggs at the Woodlands Group, Surveying Solutions.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or comment.
I don't know what went on there. Something went away. I don't know what happened there.
Nah, you just moused over something. You're good.
Okay. All right. We're back as we have
shockingly
technical difficulties some morning on things. All perfect there. Nothing wrong with it, though. As we turn to talk about Chet. Let me talk about Chet, my friend Chet's Paint and Body. You'll find him out in Center Hill. Chet's been around forever. He takes care of things. And what works for Chet is his commitment.
I was looking at that vehicle.
Yeah, it's been. That's all. That's
Does
all.
he have an after?
On this one, no.
No.
He didn't give me the after picture. I asked for it, and he goes, "Well, I set my phone down."
Uh-uh.
We've got a bunch of them that's had this. It's just front end damage. Whether you're not paying attention, sideways at a red light is where this happened. I actually know the guy that happened to. Spilled his coffee the whole 9 yards.
You know, I've been there.
Yeah. Now, what they do there is they color match this. Cars cost too much these days not to have your car put back to the way it looked before. Chet and his team will do that. Right there in the curve, you can't miss them in Center Hill. Dependability, stand by their word. They'll do classic cars from a scratch to a ding. It's all there. See them today. They'll process the insurance work for you. Call up, get you set up to get you a rental car to take care of things. It's Chet's Paint and Body, 737-2961. See them today.
They've been around for a long time.
Ooh, yeah.
Chet has. I need to get my nephew to. He'll kill me. But my nephew, I noticed he accidentally hit a deer. You know how everybody hits a deer.
Yeah.
It's always a deer. But so he hasn't gotten his is it your bumper?
Bumper on the front?
Yeah. He hasn't gotten it fixed, so he kind of rigged it up with some duct tape and stuff.
Oh, Lord.
But he got tape. The tape matches the color of his car. And he said to build the piece that was missing in his bumper, he stuck a full box of envelopes in there. So it's wrapped
And
up
then
in
tape.
duct tape to build it. Yeah. So he needs to get it over
That's
to Chet's.
redneck. You do know that.
Oh, yeah. He
That's very
knows.
redneck.
He knows.
Just can't hide it sometimes.
He said as soon as he can, he's going to get it fixed. But right now, that box of envelopes are working for
Well,
him.
you know, sometimes, you struggle with because you got to have some out-of-pocket expenses. And you just have to kind of live with a boo-boo for a while.
Oh, yeah.
We've all been there.
Yeah, we have.
It happens there.
Yeah.
Like Dylan got, where was that? You got assaulted not long ago where your tail light knocked out, somebody backed into your truck?
Oh yeah. I just made the mistake of parking at my apartment.
Oh, but that's a huge mistake, Dylan.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I'm just glad I didn't back into the spot where my headlight would have gotten eaten alive, and instead. So
Yeah, because it's cloudy. One day we're going to fix that.
The headlight?
one day.
Oh,
One day.
yeah. I hate a cloudy headlight.
Yeah.
Oof.
You never know
You
what
know,
to
I
do with it.
redid mine. I was thinking about buying a new car. Then
Yeah?
I thought, oh, they cost so much. And the only thing that really bothered me about mine is my headlights were a little cloudy.
Yeah.
And so then I started looking at headlights. I don't know if you guys have seen the price of headlights, but mine are those kind that move around, So they're like, what, $1,200 each?
Expensive.
So I thought, well, scratch that. I'm not buying a $1,200
And so
headlight.
did you try the toothpaste and did it work?
I didn't do the toothpaste. I bought a 3M thing package. It was like $10,
Sure.
and redid my own, and they looked great. I need to do them again, but they look
You done
brand
all
new.
right?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I've just heard a lot of people trying the toothpaste thing on the headlights. And
I've heard that
swirl
too
it.
because it has that grit in it or
Some
whatever.
of
Yeah,
that stuff
right.
don't work. Somebody had give me that salt and stuff. It's just like Roundup. That didn't work.
Well, I mean, all you need is a very fine piece of sandpaper. You sand it, but you have to make sure you have whatever the chemical is that goes on it to protect it.
Plastic surgeon tell me that one time. Just use a little sandpaper, he said,
On what?
on skin.
Yeah. Exfoliates. It's called exfoliation.
Y'all used to do that back when we were in radio, where you go to that doctor and they would melt your skin off, and y'all wouldn't have any meat for
What
like
is
3
it?
days.
Somebody, yeah, it was called a laser peel.
And
And
that's what I was talking about.
somebody said it looks like I just stuck my face in a vat of French fry grease.
That cannot
But
be comfortable.
I would I haven't done that in so long, but no, it's not comfortable. But
Jan was like out for 3 weeks, wasn't she?
no, she was not.
We mentioned a moment ago Ryder, and what we're talking about is when you bring a concert to town, each artist has this thick contract that you have to sign, and attached to it is a rider for extra things that they want. And we've seen some dillies as you get into Sammy Kershaw wanting particular colors of M&Ms in his dressing room.
You know what was on my rider to come in and do this? Nothing.
Nothing.
He wouldn't even let me ride a rider. So
The absolute easiest people that we ever work for, and again, this goes against what some people think is right or wrong, but the only thing they ask, a lot of them get down to, well, when we eat, it's got to be this. You got to have me at a gym at 2:15 at this particular time. But when we brought Montgomery Gentry to town, I called up the road manager and they go, look, that's all.
Just give them some food.
Look, we want food. We don't care what it is. We want a carton of Marlboro Lights, and we would also like a fifth of Jim Beam each. If you give them that, they're happy.
you know who else? Jeff Bates. Jeff Bates was great because he even let us just take him to dinner with us.
Yeah, sure did.
Like he didn't even need all of that. It was you want to go to
Nice.
dinner? You got a fan that wants to go too?
Yeah, bring them along.
Yeah. And what was it? Who was it? Mindy McCready? She's passed away.
She's passed away. Yeah, we owe the Salad Factory for her.
We abused the Salad Factory for those celebrities, but they liked it.
They did.
They did.
But it's just amazing of what some people ask for, and then how other people are just like you and I. Sometimes these contracts, lawyers get a hold to it and they write it for them, and they have no clue what's in it.
Right.
No, and some of them are very extensive. But you also have to remember, these people, their life is on the road. They've got to keep something that is normal to them, and you can't just show up. It would be like being on a vacation every week.
Yeah.
So you have to have normalcy somewhat, and I guess some of those riders give you a little bit of normalcy.
I get what
you're
saying.
going to a new place every 3 days, and if you're getting a fresh thing of Jim Beam every 3 days,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know
that's
if that's
normal.
the kind of normalcy that.
They were not normal when it come to that.
I see. Okay.
But you could, it's easy.
But they were
to
in their
see-
party mode. A lot of them were in their
Gotcha,
new, just started doing this
Yeah.
party mode, enjoying life, and then then
Yeah.
it hits them.
Yeah, of course.
I got to stop
I mean-
all
And
that.
you could put on a lot of weight, seriously, of eating junk food every day, being on the road, riding a bus all across.
You can do that at home.
Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot all about that.
If you need any tips on it, just give me a call.
Let's see here. As we look at a few things that are happening across the Meridian Police Department's wanting a few people. They've sent us out a picture, and let's share this picture. Let me get it up on the screen where you can see this. As we pull this up, wanted for questioning, and that is the wrong picture. And here we go. There we go. You can see that now. Do you pronounce that Demetrian?
No.
How do you pronounce that?
I'm going to go with Decameron.
Okay, DeCameron Brown.
Yeah.
They're looking into the CID and to an active investigation. They didn't tell us much about that one. But the next one, they did say they've got 3 other guys that they're wanting in connection to a murder, in connection with it, to talk with them. As we pull this up, we've got 3 gentlemen here. As we look at this, they are also wanting to talk to this gentleman, Jay Powell, also James Hodges, and our last, Sean Hampton. Again, as they put this out, this is into a shooting that occurred June 17th. Really not all of that long ago. We don't know their connection, what they were involved in, but
So that was a shooting in Meridian, Mississippi.
Yes.
On June 17th.
June 17th.
Okay.
So if you happen to know those gentlemen, talk to them. Let the police department know where they are. They will keep anything confidential. You don't have to worry about that. Now, as we were getting ready to come on the air this morning, there's an accident in Meridian. A skateboarder was hit by a car, 10th Avenue.
That's right. 10th Avenue and what?
Let me pull it back up here. We just posted that a few moments ago.
I didn't know that.
And it's pretty
Meridian had
serious,
skates.
from
Yeah.
what I understand.
As we pull this up, here's what we're looking at.
26th Street.
Yeah, 2600 block of 10th Avenue is
Yeah.
where it is. And skateboard, a guy maybe in his 30s, I was told, was struck by a car. We don't know if the skateboard slipped out or if he died. We don't know what really went on there. But he is hurt and was rushed to the hospital. We sent out prayers on that.
I have to say, I don't know what happened in this incident, how the person ended up hitting them, but nowadays when you're walking or riding a bike or anything, I stay terrified. Like I go down to Hattiesburg and ride bikes, not a lot, but some, and it scares me to death that people are constantly looking at their phones, and they're just kind of swerving a little, more so than I ever thought before.
Yes.
And just that one little distraction can cause you look up and you see something, and I mean,
Well, and, we've all done this. You've been driving, you look at a tree out in a pasture, and next thing you know, you're running off the edge of the road.
exactly.
Anything that
Yeah.
can distract you. Maybe
Yeah.
one day we'll have those cars that actually drive themselves and work out. Telsa's the only one that I know of that's doing it right now. Is that right, Dylan?
No. I think
It's
plenty
not
of cars are doing
Telsa.
it. Telsa.
What else?
No. Yeah. I mean, Tesla does have that automated driving, but
Telsa? It's not a Telsa, is it?
Tesla.
Tesla.
Nikola
Even
Tesla.
your dad's got you confused. No,
Oh, watch out now.
it's a Tesla.
It is a Tesla.
Okay.
See, y'all just learn to talk like me.
Telsa?
Yeah.
There is something called a Telsa. What is it?
That's
car company.
that's the capital of Oklahoma, right?
That's Tulsa.
Tulsa.
I at one point I was living in Maryland and I biked to work every day because I didn't have a car, and it wasn't so bad there because everybody in Maryland sort of expected it. You know, if you go down certain roads, there are going to be people biking. I mean, I was driving up like bridges with, you know, cars right behind me while I was huffing and sweating and about swerving into the road trying to get over the hill. But when I came back to Mississippi, you know, I had the bright idea that, you know, my apartment's not too far away from Mississippi State. I could probably hoof it, you know, keep in shape and all that. But I mean, I was at a crosswalk not far from where I lived the other day, and light was telling me I could walk right across, and it was every car that could possibly take a right turn. Like,
see, that's
I started going, and they were like, "Nobody walks in Mississippi. I ain't got to."
Right, exactly.
I was knocking on their back windshield, you know, trying to cross the road. So yeah, I mean, it's just.
But there are some states like Maryland, or if you've ever been to Oregon, everybody rides bikes.
Yeah,
so
of course.
they're very aware of.
They drive Subarus there, don't they?
In Oregon, you are just. But let me tell you where they all ride bikes. Amsterdam.
I really
Never been there.
Yeah, you're right.
Everybody
You're right.
rides a bike, and I mean they'll ride a bike with groceries, 2 kids smoking a cigarette. They don't care. They're riding a bike. I mean, everybody rides them.
You can find a bike anywhere in Mississippi at a garage sale because it's just not used a whole lot. I mean, truthfully, well, we see a few people that do it, but it's just not a state thing for us.
Yeah.
Because there's a little bitty seats.
Well, yeah, we have that great bike trail down at in Hattiesburg. You know, it starts kind of downtown Hattiesburg and goes all the way down. What is it called? The rails to trails, or something
You got
like
me.
that.
You
It's-
got me.
No,
I mean,
really.
I don't.
It's right down. I mean, it's beautiful.
'Cause I don't ride
Even
a
if you
bike.
just want to walk, it's a beautiful trail.
Huh.
I go down there and they have these like teeny houses, and I like to stay there and ride bikes and do about.
Debbie, having fun. We do have a change that we wanted to bring up. Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians, as we know, the Choctaw Indian Fair gets underway tomorrow. We've had somebody cancel on them at the last minute, and that would be Lady Antebellum,
I know.
also known now as
Lady A.
Yeah, they are out.
That name change got me.
They have not released who they're going to be replacing them with, but we have the note here. It was just one of those scheduling conflicts. We don't know what happened, but there's at least 2 shows that have been canceled in connection with this, or whatever is going on.
2 shows from Lady A
You're
that
right.
have been canceled.
Yeah, not at the Indian Fair.
Okay. But I wonder who they'll be able to get at such. I mean, because this is this week, isn't it?
Yes, I think they were going to be the Saturday night show, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So they're
Somebody
scrambling.
said they loved my shirt. I'm sorry, I got distracted by somebody. Yeah, I don't know what color it's showing up, but it's actually red.
Yeah,
It looks kind of
red.
orangey,
Yeah,
but it's not.
like a nice scarlet orange.
It's a scarlet orange.
Yeah.
Where is that? But thank you very much. And they said they love the salad factory too.
Did
I
y'all
do, too.
see where Jill Biden's in hot water? Are y'all up to date on all this?
I saw that.
Yeah, that's a couple times a day.
I mean, I can't
Just as long as
believe-
it's a funny one, we can talk about it.
This one,
Jill Biden is typically not a person that goes out and makes this type of mistake, but this was a big one to me.
All right, lay it on me. What's
the
going on?
Latin community all upset this morning. She referred to the Latinos as breakfast tacos, and people are not happy with her over this.
She said-
"Now this is in light of Joe bumbling everything else, and his ratings are going like this. This doesn't help matters, does it?"
No. And did you see what she said?
What?
Dylan?
No, we're saying Joe Biden and she. Is this
Jill.
Jill, his
Jill,
wife.
oh.
Who is a doctor.
Yeah, right,
a
right.
very smart lady. And outshines her husband at
Most
every
everything.
turn. But she said they are as unique as breakfast tacos.
I see.
And I guess she thought that was a great analogy, but
It didn't work out.
Well, I just don't really even get the basis of it, because if I were to go to any given place, if I get a breakfast taco, I pretty much know it's like eggs and bacon and maybe some type of like, crunchy tater tot thing. And
Yeah.
that's all I expect.
that's what you get.
That's
Breakfast taco.
What
does that
Well,
mean?
actually, you're thinking of a breakfast burrito.
I guess I am.
Yeah,
I guess I am.
a breakfast taco I've never even heard of.
She, this was in San Antonio. So
Okay.
that's what's happening at the White House is daily their numbers shrink and shrink. And that is a very, very, you want Latino votes. Trump was huge in this. And as they start alienate more and more and more across America of people that they make
I mean, he
mad.
can't come back.
No, he can't. We won't
I
get
don't even
anything left
care.
in the country if he does.
I don't care. he cannot come back.
And if you're doubting me, fill up your car and then call me because it's going to cost you.
Oh, but gas has gone down so much.
12 cents.
It's down to $3. I passed one.
$3.89.
Yeah, $3.89 over by your house. Which sounds so horrible. It's horrible when you think it's so cheap. Like I think, I might finally fill up my car.
Right.
On $3.89 gas.
And let me tell you what else is going up come Sunday night. I had somebody send me this morning. When's the last time you mailed a letter?
I never mail a letter. I mean, like thank you cards and stuff. That's about it.
And I do with my business, but starting Sunday night, your stamp will cost you 60 cents now.
So does that mean all these forever stamps are still good, though?
They are. The forever stamp is still good.
Because I was smart and got my forever stamps.
Yeah, if you buy stamps, do it that way. But 60 cents, and everything is going up with this.
I'll sell you some of my forever stamps for 55 cents.
And you know what? I'm not knocking the people that work at the United States Post Office, but America has changed, and they didn't take that entity and adjust to the way America is doing now, and it's in debt. It's in horrible shape, and they need someone to step in and go, something's wrong here.
Well, in my mind, and I don't know enough about it, but it's when we started having all these other delivery services or transportation services and things like that. It's not just the United States Postal Service anymore.
Well, you've got FedEx, UPS taking a chunk out of that.
But I mean, it's not even that either, because you've got legislators. You've got what's the word? What's that nasty word for people who go up and harass all the congressmen?
Lobbyists.
Lobbyists. Yeah, you got all these lobbyists from places like Amazon that are cutting quote unquote deals with the United States Post Office. And I think if I remember right, I listened way back in the day that Amazon tried to cut a deal with them, and I think that the U.S. Post Office tried to take them on good faith, and it ended up being that like every time that Amazon ships something out, they only have to pay for like just the last tiniest stretch of the delivery fee. So the United States Post Office is paying for like
what Amazon.
They're taking. Yeah, you're exactly right. And I've heard a lot of.
Who in their right mind would approve that? Seriously.
Well, I mean, I think it was a case of you read over it, it sounds good, and you go back later and there was a loophole that you didn't catch, and it was just human error. And
boy,
now the U.S. Post Office is paying for your Amazon packages.
At the time when all that was done, the post office was in worse shape than it is now.
Right.
And so this was a deal that was cut,
to get them out of a pinch.
Right.
And then the fine print wasn't.
And not knowing the extent Amazon.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's Jeff Bezos that owns that, isn't it? Isn't that who owns it?
I think.
Yeah, I think
Bezos.
Yeah, Big Bezos is still in charge.
And he's
is it Bezos or Bezo?
There's an S at the end, and I've always heard Bezos. But I feel like
I have no clue.
He's rich enough. You can call him whatever you want, and he won't mind.
He won't. Yeah.
So rich.
More on the way as we start your morning. It's Tuesday. Scotty Ray and Debbie, as we have Dylan Ray in with us this morning, helping out as we take you through this. More coming up.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install, or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
One of the most important places to you is your home. That's why Patrick Allen Companies is proud to provide style, functionality, and security to your home. There's nothing quite like a well-designed overhead garage door or vinyl replacement windows, or the safety of a storm shelter to help your family feel protected. Patrick Allen offers doors and windows for commercial and industrial with dozens of innovative designs. Patrick Allen Companies, safety, service, and satisfaction.
Oh, you got to start it, Scotty. It's your show.
Well, you said you wanted to start it.
No, I said the story. I don't do your opening. This is Scotty Ray and Candace filling in. Debbie's filling in for Candace.
Well,
I don't
there
even
you
know.
go.
Because you know what I would say if I started it.
What would you say?
Actually, some call letters that I shouldn't say because that's all
You
I
get
did.
you get in a habit of repeating the same thing.
Yeah.
For so many years, and it's easy.
I didn't mean, when I say, do you want me to tell the story?
That's what I thought.
I don't mean come out of your.
All right,
Yeah.
Dad. But as we look at things, something that Debbie wanted to make you aware of, and people are doing this, so don't walk off.
Yeah. So we were talking about gas prices a little while ago. So this guy, it's been all over the news, but you know, you put you start pumping your gas and you walk in the store. Some people do that. I do that sometimes. This guy pulls up where he can't be seen, and he takes the pump out and sticks it in his car and fills his car up and then puts it back in.
And then another way that they're also doing that is they'll swap the hoses and hang it on this side, and when you put your credit card in and hit the button, it's showing that it's pumping into your car, but the actual gas is going into the other car. You know what
Yeah, I know what you're saying. People are getting so.
Then they're coming in your yards at night with drills, and they don't siphon or siphon.
It's not siphon. Siphon.
I
It's a
say
siphon.
siphon. You
I think a lot of people say siphon,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
but,
siphon.
but
But I
that
don't
is
think
not
you
as
can look at-
common. They're getting lazy to where they use drill bits now to steal your gas instead of using a water hose.
that happened to my sister. Her car, I don't know what happened to it, but she had just filled her car up, and she said she drove away from the pump, and something happened to it that she had to go get a tow truck. And but the tow truck she didn't get the truck until the next morning. And whenever they were working on her car, they said somebody had cut her gas line and stolen all her gas. In
'Cause
the middle of the night, while they were waiting to get
that's roughly, depending upon how big a tank you got, that can be $110 worth of fuel. Like,
yeah.
easily.
Easy.
the excursion.
Oh, boy.
I don't even know how much that is. It's probably like,
Back in the day, it was like $80 when we had cheap gas.
yeah. So I don't even know how many gallons it
I don't
holds.
think Mike wants to talk about that, does he?
No.
Luckily, if it was the last gas station we filled up at, I think you'd have time to notice because it was drip by drip going into my gas tank.
I'm glad you said. I went to get gas the other day, and it was just like, I don't know if they're trying to make you feel better by it taking so long, and thinking, oh, okay. But I mean, it
What
was
I'm
so
told-
slow. I just gave up and thought I got enough to get back and forth right now.
Yeah.
Whether or not this is true or not, but I've had people tell me when those are running slow that their tanks are getting low and those filters are pumping, trying to clean
It's
that
trash.
gas. Yeah. So if you got one going slow, you might not want to fill your whole car up. Just
Which I did not.
thinking out loud.
Because
We
I hate.
did.
If there's one thing I hate in this world, it's pumping gas. Hate it.
Because
can't
you're going to
stand
smell
it.
like it.
No, has nothing to do with that. I just don't like doing it.
What we're saying is we'd like that greasy little guy to come back and pump our gas.
I would love. There's still a few places. There's one in Nashville, but there's a few places that still do that, and they don't even charge extra. And they'll come out and
you're
do
right.
your little windshield thing.
Well, he's a great guy. We really wish that time in America
We
would
need to
come
bring
back.
that back.
Wasn't that didn't you say that was common in Ohio or something like that?
In some places like when you go into Canada, they have to pump your gas. I
Really?
think it's Canada.
Really?
Yeah, they
like
have
a
to pump your
union thing?
gas. It's some kind of law. I
Okay,
don't know.
cool.
I think it's Canada. I
Hey,
need to
look,
look
I'm
it up.
okay for laws that let little guys pump a little bit of gas for me. I don't mind that.
Yeah, I mean, and that also,
Or-
I know it's either Seattle, someplace around Seattle, or Canada. Somebody, it's the law.
It
We
is.
need that law.
No, we brought this up. Deb called me this morning. We were talking about different things that are going on. Elvis, the movie. Dylan, have you seen the previews to the new Elvis movie?
I have seen the previews. I forgot who's directing it.
We got Tom Hanks playing the Colonel.
Right.
And I keep hearing this movie is over the top. Now, I have not personally seen it.
Well, I haven't seen it, but I did talk to Lucinda, who went to see it.
Lulu.
She said she went to see it. She made her boyfriend go. I mean, no, it's her husband now.
Oh, she got a husband?
Yeah, she's married. They were dated for, I don't know, 30 years.
Miracles happen
And now
every
they're
day, Lulu.
married. But she made him go. I don't know. But she got in there, and they got partway through the movie, and lightning struck or something, and it
Melted the film?
fizzled out the projector or blew it up.
Oh, man.
And of course, you've got older people that are watching that movie.
Get
It's an
angry.
older crowd. And they were like wondering what's going on, like what's happening. And finally, she said, some man in the back said, Elvis has left the building.
That is too funny. And for those of you who've never known Elvis, that was the thing. When Elvis walked off the stage, they made that big announcement.
Oh, yeah, they
Elvis
did.
has left the building. It's a sound that we in our generation will forever know. Elvis was given a lot of bad rap, and he was so taken advantage of by so many people. He was young. He come about, he trusted people, what they told him, and they truly took advantage of him. Up until after his death, his family finally got it straightened out. Like if you bought an Elvis doll, Elvis got absolutely nothing from it.
That is the saddest.
The Colonel got 100% of any likeness, any doll. If you remember the Love Me Tender thing,
Yeah.
he took every penny of that. Also, on top of that, the contract, when it was written, 50% of everything Elvis made.
And he didn't know better. He did not know better. And that is the saddest
It is.
abuse of a person that you can, that's tough because he was such a talent. And look at how nobody's ever been as big as Elvis. Ever.
Now, I know that there's a lot of you going, well, he was a druggie. Let me straighten this out. Elvis was not a druggie. Did he die of a drug-induced? But Elvis didn't know it. What was going on was Elvis, in his mind, he trusted people in the profession. And if he got something from his doctor prescribed over the counter, he didn't think anything was wrong with it. He truly did. He fired anybody that touched marijuana, done drugs. He got rid of them, wouldn't allow it in his entourage.
Yeah.
And it's just sad that happened. He really didn't know that he couldn't take those pills.
It is sad. And he wasn't very old.
42.
I thought he was old when I was young, when he died, but 42 years old and such a talent. And real quick, and like I said, I told you, and I've probably brought it up too many times,
What?
but
You think Elvis is your daddy, don't you?
Well, my mother always said that. She always told me he was my father. But I never believed. And she would always tell the grandkids, Elvis is your grandfather.
That's funny.
But which almost confirms it, when my mom just passed away and we were going through a lot of things, and our big family Bible that's been in the family forever, my mom wanted one of my brothers to have that. And so we were kind of going through it to see what was all in it. The absolute only, and I'm not lying, the only clipping article in that Bible from 70 years ago, that's how long she's had that Bible, was a clipping of when Elvis died.
Bless her heart. Elvis was women
So I'm
fainted.
100% sure he was my father.
I don't blame you. That's what I think too, Debbie. A little Elvis moment this
Little
morning.
Elvis.
Let's talk about this, because I know you've been here. You've done this. Snowden Company. They do this every day, and they're the best at what they do of buying and finding homes for you. If you've got a particular home you want, 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom, they'll find it for you when it comes on the market. Just let them know what you're looking for. You can go online and look at the different homes they've already got. Now, you're seeing some folks here that, well, they've bought from them, either sold to them. Good folks. You can get your dream home no matter what it is. They'll take the time to find it for you. If you're looking for Bailey, they've got many homes out in the area there. 453-3937 is we go up to DeKalb. Maybe you want to go out to Northeast. That's right in front of the school there.
Yeah, and one of the great things about Snowden and Company, they will guide you from the beginning to the end. A lot of first-time buyers, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how much they can afford. They have no clue. They can sit you down and take you from that very first step, so it's not so intimidating.
From Forest, Mississippi to Brandon to here in Clark County, even Lauderdale. They've got it for you. Talk to them. Visit with them. Trustworthy people. A handshake is all you need. Again, 453-3937. You'll find them in Broadmoor, or you can call that the North Hills area there, on Poplar Springs Drive. That's Amanda, and this is her team of professionals. Again, 601-453-3937 is the telephone number to call. They'll hook you up with your next home. See them today. The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville is passing along these great savings. 1 pound of fresh strawberries, 2 for $5. Fresh peaches, $1.99 a pound. Tomatoes, $1.99 a pound. And fresh corn, a 3-pack, $1.79. Assorted pork chops, $1.79 a pound. And certified Angus beef New York strip steak, family pack, $10.99 a pound.
And we're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
Spring is here, and it's time to quit spending all of your weekend cutting grass when you could step up to a Skag zero-turn mower. Freeman Tractor in Collinsville has the #1 rated zero-turn mower, Skag, with cutting widths from 36 inches to 72 inches. Skag, the #1 choice of professional landscapers, because they know nothing outcuts or outlasts a Skag. 0% financing for 48 months with payments starting as low as $129 a month. Stop by Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 and see coleslaw or buttermilk. Welcome back to Scotty Ray and Debbie, as Debbie fills in for Candace this week. Many, many moons have gone by. If you don't know either one of us and you're watching us on television, I'm Scotty Ray. Debbie and I had a radio show together for 16 to 20 years. It was a long time.
Yeah, it
We
was.
worked very closely. Our families grew up. You remember when Dylan
was born. Dylan, such a great young man.
Watch
So
out.
smart. I always knew you would be super smart, but I didn't realize you would be so smart.
Oh no, I'm not. They just haven't caught on yet. So I just need them to
no.
do that for about one more year, and then I can put my guard down.
Look, I mean, you've gone places, you've done things, and you've got a great talent, and soon to be, maybe taking a big job. I'm not going to say it. We can't disclose it, I guess.
Can we disclose where you think you're going? Or
We're
is
not
that
allowed
unknown?
to. No, you can't.
Oh, can't?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
But it's
all right.
top secret.
Top
really.
secret stuff.
Yeah.
But
Cool. You were in, where was it? And I found this interesting. When you went to Germany, what was the name of that town? The airport that you landed in. Do you remember that?
are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. Do you remember when you had flown to some other country and you landed in Germany?
Oh Lord, I cannot remember for the life of me.
But the interesting
It's a common
part-
airport though.
It was an airport.
Frankfurt.
Frankfurt. It was Frankfurt. Yes.
How did I know that?
Well, probably because you've probably gone through that airport too.
But the interesting fact of that, we don't have many documents of our family, but his great-grandfather, who got shipped off to World War I, sent a postcard from that airport when he landed. And Dylan, it was almost within 2 days, 99 years later, was standing where his grandfather was.
Are you serious?
Yep, yeah.
That's amazing.
My vivid memory of the extremely shiny bar that I had to wait on my layover there is my memory of that. So
How long did you have to stay in the airport?
oh Lord, it was a while. I think it was like an 11-hour layover or something
Oh,
like
wow.
that. It was,
You really got to know it.
yeah, because I think I was on my way to Valencia, Spain.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Valencia, Spain via Germany?
Yep. So it was Columbus, Mississippi to Atlanta to Frankfurt to. I can't remember if I had to take a train. No. I think it landed right in the Valencia area. But I very vividly remember hopping off that plane, and all the stewardesses were, saying bye to everybody, and I think there was a guy from like South Africa in front of me, and they said, goodbye, have a nice trip, and they saw me and my pasty white skin, and they were going full German on me, and I was just like, yo,
No, I'm from Mississippi.
ich lib Donka something or another. I don't know, man. But thanks
just
all the
assumed.
same. Yeah.
Bill
called
Reinhart
profiling.
tells us this won't be long now, August. He's going to be performing at Graceland for Elvis Week.
Nice.
Make it up for that.
Bill, were you there when we were there for Elvis's, what was it? The
25th anniversary of his death.
Yeah.
And that guy told us he was Elvis' son.
And he was.
He was a freak.
So do they only let Elvis impersonators into Graceland, or do they just let you can do stuff without dressing up as the man?
Well, you can
himself?
tour Graceland.
Well, I mean, I know you
tour.
can, but I mean,
But you mean like just going in?
well, he says he's performing, right?
Yeah, so they have a stage set up, I assume, and you probably have to sign up and get approved and all that.
I would guess. But that when we talk about the man that said that he was Elvis's son,
I
was
see.
not Bill. I want
Yeah.
to clear that
Oh,
up.
yeah.
This
I
was
see.
somebody else that when
We interviewed.
They were like,
Scary.
no joke, about 5,000 Elvis impersonators when we did that, and at Graceland.
Yeah.
And we broadcast from Graceland. Right?
Sure did.
Right.
And a lot of them, some of them were from other countries that you could tell, you're not Elvis. I'm sorry.
As we look at a few things this morning, let's go back and do a time check. It was 1937. America's funniest man that turned out to be the worst man in America was born. It would be Bill Cosby's birthday today.
We had every album growing up.
Yeah.
Do you
He was
remember
funny.
those?
Yeah.
The albums. Yeah.
But it turned out not so good. As we speak of Elvis today, it was 1954 that he would sit down after he
his
convinced somebody
mama.
to sign. He did there. He signed with Sun Records on this date. That was a pretty big day.
Now, was he convinced, or did he do the convincing? Which way was it?
From what I understand, it would be the secretary that actually convinced him to give him that chance. Even after he sent out people, Scotty Moore, to play with him, they come back and they go, he's not really that good.
He was so. He was.
Really?
I mean, he was so progressive. I
Right.
mean, with all that movement and stuff, that was just
But he wouldn't
way out.
be. They sat there and recorded for like 2 hours, and Sam Phillips is still not convinced that he has anything. And they take a break, and then Elvis starts playing around with a song that he rearranged called "That's All Right, Mama," and he stops and goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Where'd that come from?" And then that became the style of Elvis. Woo! 1958, you'd wake up in the grocery store, you'd look over and see this young lady on the cover of TV Guide.
What an icon.
Wasn't she beautiful?
Yes, what an icon.
Liked her a lot.
Yeah.
Now, this, and believe this or not, they're not country by any means.
Don't even know her.
Well, you wouldn't, but they're a group that pretend to be country. And what I didn't realize was she was from Mississippi. The band Perry. Y'all know who I'm talking about? Kimberly, the lead singer.
I remember the band Perry. You know, I'm so bad about that now.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Once we left,
When I Die or something was the song.
Yeah.
When I
That's
Die,
a good
If I Die
song,
Young.
too.
You get
If I Die
dumped in
Young.
satin,
what is it?
smother me with some roses, bucko, I think is one of the lines.
Yeah. There you go. Read them out loud.
Yeah.
Read them dramatically.
Oh, man. If I
That's
could
my
find
favorite
it.
thing to do is take something and read it in a completely different context, dramatically or something.
1983, y'all will remember this. It was the Creeper song that went #1. Who
What?
remembers?
Creeper?
Every breath.
Every breath you take.
The police had
Dun,
that.
dun, dun.
I'll be watching you. I'll be
watching.
following you.
It wasn't creepy.
I thought you were talking about
It is
Creeper by Radiohead.
No.
1984, this would happen. We still don't know why it happened, but Geraldine
What do you
Ferraro
mean?
was our first woman VP candidate. I never clicked with her.
I clicked with it because my maiden name is Farrar.
Oh, yeah.
And it was Geraldine Ferraro, and people always, I kind of made that comparison. Like, is that your aunt? Nope.
1997, it would be the song that, well, you'd want to rip the radio out of the car because they overplayed it. It would not go away. It's as bad as
was
When I
good,
Said
though.
I Do from Clint Black that you can't escape from. Who remembers It's Your Love? It spent 6 weeks at #1, and it would be the first song that stayed at the #1 slot in country since Lukenbach, Texas.
Yeah. And she was pregnant when they did that, right?
Yeah, we don't know how that happened, but
No, they were married. She was pregnant, and but I'm gonna tell you something. They're still together, and they still live in Nashville, and they still do great. So that's a big deal.
It is.
For
They love
have-
birds.
They are. Okay.
Now, Dylan, Dylan performs. I don't know if a lot of people know that. He's a singer. He does.
watch that now.
Have you
No.
ever done Third Rate Romance, Low Rent Rendezvous?
Third-rate romance.
It was
No,
I love that
I have
song.
not.
Russell Smith, who was the lead singer for the amazing Rhythm Aces, passed away on this date back in 2019. And of course, that being their big song. And then Sammy Kershaw came along and re-recorded
Right. I was
Third
gonna
Rate
say,
Romance.
yeah, that's what made it huge.
Here it did.
Yeah.
1976, this would be the first time that you would sit down at television and go, wow, did he just kiss that woman and the next woman? And it just went on. Richard Dawson premiered with Family Feud, and America loved the TV show.
It's still going, isn't
yeah,
it?
it is.
And
Who's manning it now?
it's
Steve Harvey.
yeah,
Is
Steve
it
Harvey.
Steve Harvey?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was getting that in Jeopardy mixed up.
Yeah. For 2000, Alex, that had that show just didn't have
Jeopardy.
any personality.
Sorry.
Alex passed away though.
You did.
Yeah.
I'm not running him down.
But
it's just-
Jeopardy's one of those where I realize how stupid I am.
Yeah, I know none of the answers.
Like if you have, this category is for the stupidest person on earth. I could still not answer those questions because I always think I can, but I never get.
Okay, grip the counter here. Y'all hold on to something. 'Cause let me tell you this, because I just read this. Chris Walker just told us it costs $77 now to get into Graceland.
Good Lord.
Well, we're not going.
77.
I lived in Memphis for 8 years, and I took every person I knew on tour. If somebody came into town, which I have a very large family, we went to Graceland. So I've seen Graceland, unless they did something different over there.
The jungle room.
probably
The
get
jungle room.
The jungle room's the jungle room. I don't think his body is buried in that grave. I don't think it. So I'm just going to go ahead and
Elvis is alive.
tell you what's happening over there.
We got one last thing that happened on this date. We go back to 1980. He would be a fixture in your household growing up from the late 60s. It ran for 25 years. He would be your doctor. It would be Doc, and he passed away on this date. Milburn Stone from Gunsmoke.
It just amazes me back in the day that's what we used to all watch.
It is.
Everybody. Not like nowadays where you have it's so segmented. Back then, Gunsmoke was on. Everybody watched Gunsmoke.
That's true.
Yeah.
And if you'll remember the very first episode, because they weren't sure James Arness could do it, they wanted what's his face to do, John Wayne to do the part.
Everybody wanted John Wayne.
And John said, it's not for me, but I got this good friend. And he knew it. And he suggested, because he'd been in a few films with him. And so he comes on and goes, hey, everybody, I'm John Wayne, and I want to introduce you to a friend of mine tonight. And then the rest is history. And we saw Matt Dillon. And that's how Dillon got his name. I've told him over and over. That's how Dillon got
Aren't
his
you
first
proud of
name.
that? Did Angie fight you on that, or?
Well, it ringed. It had to be Ray in the middle, and I had to come up with a name, and I thought Dillon was the perfect name for that. It stands for justice. It stands for you're good guys. Why I chose that.
It does.
It does to me.
I thought
A lot of thought put into your
I
name.
thought it meant like Little Pond in Welsh or something like that.
It probably does, too.
Let's take a
Little
minute
Pond.
to talk about our friends at Maple's One Stop Shop. They've got a lot going on today. And, of course, right now they got breakfast stirring up over at the Causeyville in the Chevron store on St. Paul, where you're looking for grits, eggs. And before long, they're going to have the breakfast menu out. They'll have a sign up. They'll let us know what you can come by and take advantage of. Loyalty coffee program, 6 cup of coffee, absolutely free. Ooh, yeah, cold drinks, candy bars. When you turn into that mean person, you need energy, go get a Snickers. It'll put you back right.
Get your personality going again.
Pizza, lottery tickets, ice cream, it's all there. Of course, gasoline. Bonita, Pine Springs, Causeyville Chevron, or the Last Chance Tobacco, Broadmoor Chevron, or that 31st store. See them. They'll help you out. They got so much going on there today. Bump in. You'll probably see a friend of yours.
At the Back Porch, we're bringing families back together for fun, food, and all the things you love to enjoy around your home. Every event starts with a great grill, great cookware, and accessories. Add in some locally sourced meat and dairy, along with frozen vegetables and casseroles, and over 500 brands of spices and sauces. Relax in our chairs, swings, daybeds, and have fun with our cornhole boards. From coolers to trailers, we have everything you need. When you see the big chair, you've made it to the Back Porch.
And welcome back. Don't forget, we've got a depression that we're watching on the Mississippi Gulf Coast that could turn into something more, possibly a named storm in a few days. Right now, they're expecting anywhere from 4 to 6 inches through the weekend. We're watching it closely. If it becomes something more, we'll let you know.
Yeah, that's going to be the big deal with that is tons of rain.
Yes.
Lots of flooding, and just be careful if you are headed down to the coast.
Yeah. Well, Dylan, I appreciate you coming in and spending some time with us today.
Of course.
I enjoy talking to Dylan all the time. He's such a nice young man. I mean, really.
I appreciate the good lies. I need the confidence boost.
There you go.
I'm late on work that I got to get done for tomorrow, so I need every little bit I can get.
77 right now as we get ready for a day with the heat index hitting right at 100. Now, we're coming back tomorrow. Don't forget the Choctaw Indian Fair begins tomorrow in Philadelphia. And then within 2 weeks, we'll have the Neshoba County Fair coming. Thank y'all so much for being a part of this and making this so successful. We'll be back tomorrow morning beginning at 8 a.m. as Debbie returns.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: